What's up, everyone? It's your girl Shay here on my channel. If you're new, welcome back to my channel if you have been here before. And yes, as you can see about the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about some new Bleach news. As many of us know, Bleach the Thousand Blood War arc is supposed to start airing in October. So this is some streaming news regarding where exactly it is going to be streaming. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and of course please subscribe if you haven't already. But pretty much just last week, news broke that apparently Disney Plus had the licensing or the streaming rights to stream Bleach the Thousand Blood War arc. So I actually wanted to look more into this and see what exactly, or if this exactly was true, because it did kind of turn the anime Twitter a little bit upside down with this news. So I found an article on comicbook.com, which of course I will link down below so you guys can actually read it for yourselves. But in the article, it actually states that there actually has not been an official statement at this time of me recording this video by Viz or by Disney about the fact if they do have the streaming rights and if it will be streaming on Disney Plus. They also went on in the article to say that this was actually just a rumor said by many other anime influencers online, but they were unable to find, like I said, an official statement. So at this time, we actually do not know, but they did go on to kind of speculate that it's kind of surprising that at this point in time, Viz has not said anything about where it will be streaming at, considering the show does come out, or the series is supposed to come out in about less than 2 months at this point, and nothing has been said as far as like where the licensing is at. Of course, like many of us anime fans, we automatically think it's going to be on Crunchyroll, or we automatically think it's going to be on Hulu, because many of us know Viz does not have their own actual streaming service. So they actually really do put a lot of their series on places like Netflix, Crunchyroll, and of course also Hulu. So hearing the news about Disney Plus kind of shook a lot of fans, because that was a contender when it comes to licensing for streaming or licensing for anime shows, was a platform that many of us weren't actually thinking were going to kind of throw their hat into the game. But I'm also at this point honestly not surprised. As many of us know, Hulu is actually owned by Disney. So seeing Disney hop into the game to start streaming anime isn't shocking to me. I also continued on the article and read that actually Disney Plus in Japan, because as many of us know, many of these streaming platforms, depending on what area of the world you're in, if that streaming service is actually available, sometimes different shows are available to you. And if Disney Plus located in Japan, or the Japan area for Disney Plus, trying to figure out how I'm supposed to actually phrase that sentence. But anyway, Disney Plus in Japan has actually gotten some streaming licensing, or has tried to get streaming licensing for a couple of anime shows. And according to the article, it states the animes as being Twisted Wonderland, Summertime Rendering, and even Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. So it's not, at this point, seems to be something that is new when it comes to Japan. It seems like it's just something new in the US, because we ourselves honestly really have a lot of other platforms that are letting us watch anime on there. But I will say that this rumor so far, when I heard about it on Twitter, I saw a lot of people kind of discussing it and kind of throwing their own opinions in there as far as like how they actually felt about it. Now, most of the opinions were actually pretty negative. A lot of people seem to really not like the fact that if this was true, that Disney Plus was getting their hands on an anime. A lot of people really still wanted it to air on Crunchyroll, and there could be several reasons why for this. One reason why some fans probably do not want it on Disney Plus is probably because it's another streaming service that some people probably have to pay for. Some people probably don't have Disney Plus, but do have things like Crunchyroll or Netflix. So having it on there just makes it more like financially able for them, and just much more easier for them to access compared to something like Disney Plus. So that could be one reason why. Another reason why some people actually stated was because of the fact that Disney itself is just such a huge company, and they own so many different networks, that people were like, it's once again Disney kind of taking control over something, and people are kind of upset about that. Now, me in particular, I have to say, I'm honestly not surprised. Yes, Disney is a huge company, but also anime itself has become this huge, big thing. As many of us know, over the past, at least a good 5 to 10 years, maybe a little bit less than that, anime has started to become very mainstream. As many of us know, if you're an older anime fan, you remember it being very difficult to get access to any sort of anime on any sort of like mainstream network, and having to either illegally stream it, illegally download it, or having to watch it on one-off channels like Cartoon Network when they had their, or actually still do have their Toonami network, or having to buy VHS's tapes, or having to buy DVDs. But nowadays with streaming and stuff like that, so many other platforms have started to stream anime, and because anime, like I said, has become more mainstream, they're realizing that putting anime on their platforms is pulling in a lot of subscribers. So this doesn't surprise me that Disney is trying to throw their hat in the game when it comes to streaming, when it comes to anime. Also, many of us have to remember that you can't have a monopoly, which is why the whole deal between Crunchyroll being acquired by Sony, for a period of time, people didn't think was going to happen due to them thinking it was going to be monopolizing it, because Crunchyroll is such a big company, Funimation is such a big company as well when it comes to anime, and they were all going to be under the umbrella of Sony. But because of other streaming services or streaming platforms like Hulu, as well as Netflix, and of course also Amazon Prime Video, they kind of at that point, as you know, let the merger kind of go ahead and let Crunchyroll be acquired by Sony or Funimation, whichever of the two. So in this case, with Disney kind of throwing their hat into the ring when it comes to streaming platforms, I'm honestly not surprised, like I said. Now, I do understand that some people are probably going to say, well, Hulu is owned by Disney, which is true, but Hulu and Disney are also still very two separate companies. So even if the licensing was under Hulu, doesn't mean it's going to be on Disney Plus. It would only be under Hulu. But since Disney is throwing themselves in the streaming licensing sort of a game, it seems, it would only be on Disney Plus. Now, as the people who are saying like, well, I don't have Disney Plus and I don't want to pay for it, there's pretty much a very easy answer for this, and the easiest answer I can give is that if you have a friend or a family member that has Disney Plus, as many of us know, many of us end up sharing logins for a lot of these streaming services because we don't want to pay for them ourselves, or they only have like one show we really want to watch and we really aren't trying to get it for that long of a time, or many of us who do sign up for it for just one show have to remember to put into our calendar to cancel it if we're under the free trial so that we do not get charged for it. And for some people, it also might just be a whole thing of like, they may not like Disney at this point and don't want to give them any money, which is why I still say your best option at this point is pretty much just to have someone else's login and just sign into their account and watch Bleach if they, in that case, do happen to get the licensing for them to stream it on there. Now, once again, how do I feel about this? Me personally, I don't have an issue with it. And it's not because of the fact that I already have Disney Plus, so it's not going to affect me being able to watch it. I think it's mostly the fact that I kind of understand from a business standpoint why Disney would do this. As you have to remember, most of these streaming platforms are trying to get as many people to sign on as possible. And many other streaming services are realizing how viable the anime community actually really is when it comes to licensing anime, and that we ourselves will flock to that particular streaming service if they do have shows that we want to watch. At this point, I've given up there ever being just one streaming service that has all the anime on there, that not all the anime on there we want to watch, but a very good amount on there. We're not having to go to different services. I feel like that's always going to happen just because here you can't have a monopoly. But like I said, I'm not surprised that Disney is trying to do this, and I feel like that's going to make Disney Plus a lot more of a, not a better option, but because of the fact that Disney Plus is available in so many other countries compared to things like Crunchyroll or compared to things like Netflix, and especially compared to Hulu, I feel like a lot of people are probably going to, flock to Disney to watch a lot more of their anime if Disney does acquire licensing for more shows. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, like, what about Crunchyroll? As many of us know, people have had issues where if they live in certain countries, they can't access certain shows, which is, I feel like it's just going to happen regardless of where you live at. I mean, at this point, even on Disney Plus, there's a show that I really want to watch called Friendication. Anyway, it's with V from BTS, and he's with his whole Wooga squad, and they're like on vacation or whatever. And Disney Plus acquired the rights to actually stream it, but it was only streaming in most Asian countries and wasn't streaming here in the US, unless I had like a VPN or something. But anyway, I digress. At this point, I'm actually just going to wait for an official statement as far as to see whether or not Bleach is going to actually be streaming on Disney Plus. And like I said, at the recording of this video, there has not been an official statement that has been made. The article that I found on comicbook.com was made on August 14th, so just 2 days before I started recording this video. So what do you guys think? Are you guys going to be hindered if Disney Plus does require streaming to Bleach? Are you upset if Disney does require the licensing to stream Bleach on there? Or are you just kind of like, it's just another platform that I'm just going to have to use to watch it? Although, I am going to say this one last thing. I am surprised that it is Bleach that they are deciding to put on there, because Bleach is a little bit much more of a, not a violent show, but definitely not family friendly, which is what Disney seems to stand for a lot of the times. But I feel like because of them acquiring things like Marvel and more of the Marvel properties, they're starting to become a little bit more lenient when it comes to what's considered family friendly and allowing a little bit more of adult shows to be on there. Although one thing I will also continue to say is that I wish that if Disney does get the Thousand Blood War arc, they also acquire the streaming for much more seasons, or more seasons of Bleach, like the seasons obviously before that, so that people who have never seen Bleach before can go back to the beginning. And so I feel like them putting Bleach on there is probably going to also cause more fans of Bleach, because they'll see the show, want to watch it, and will realize, oh, there's more of this from the beginning. I need to go back and watch this, and they can. But anyway, like I said, what do you think? Comment below your thoughts. I definitely look forward to reading it. And yeah, I will see you guys soon with a new video. Links below to all my social media accounts. I have an Instagram, a Twitter, and of course, I also have a TikTok, so feel free to check me out on there as well. And like I always tell you guys, stay positive, stay nerdy, and in today's day and age, stay healthy, and of course, please stay safe. All right, you guys, bye.